AgTruckTrader Pro Rodeo Team is back on In the Loop podcast again. In our previous Behind the Brand series, we introduced you to the AgTruckTrader Pro Rodeo Team, and here we are again in 2024, bringing you the team's newest charity component. In this series, we will be bringing you each of the team members alongside of their select charities of choice that are near and dear to their hearts. We talk to each individual charity and team member, sharing some amazing life stories, testimonies, trials, and triumphs in this series. AgTruckTrader wants to hear from you, and that's why they have set this challenge up for everybody who is listening to go to our website, AgTruckTraderProRodeo.com/charity, and vote for the charity of your choice. At the end of this series, the voting will cease on March 1st, and the charity that has the most votes will be announced live on RFD TVs and the Cowboy channel during Ag Rally on March 19th. As you've all heard our team captain Leighton Berry say, team unity is really our foundation, and we all wanted to come together as one unit to accomplish something that's really bigger than any of us can do alone. We really want to do something that's big in the rodeo community and that everybody can rally behind. That is why we wanted rodeo fans to have a voice on who we support. So make sure you go vote at AgTruckTraderProRodeo.com/charity and join us for this touching series on In the Loop podcast. Now let's get into it. Okay, guys, so today we are here and we are wrapping up the AgTruckTrader Pro Rodeo Charity Components series here. We are with our good friend and fellow teammate, Mr. Taylor Santos on AgTruckTrader, as well as Tonascia from the Golden Circle of Champions. And everybody knows we've been talking all things charities. Every one of us as Cowboys and Cowgirls has picked a charity of our choice on this team, and we've went through, and it's been really fun to get to learn about all these charities and just the ins and outs. I think that it really has put I'm going to say an authenticity on our team, because I think people just see us in the arena, but there's so much that we are involved in outside of the arena. So I think it's really neat to be able to bring this little piece of the puzzle and talk about it, as well as grow and learn about all these charities. So Tina and Taylor, thank you guys so much for joining us to the show today.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us today. Such an honor.
So a little bit, Taylor, I've been competitive with the boys. Obviously, Jackie and I were kind of siding because we're like the girls on the team, but I have been a tad bit competitive with the boys. Like my charity, obviously, is going to kick y'all's butt. Huntsman's charity, go vote, actually, if you want. So we're doing a small competition here. And what it is every time you guys go and sign up for an Ag Pack ID on AgTruckTrader.com, we get a kickback as the athlete of the Pro Rodeo team. And through that, we are giving that back to one of these charities of choice. So we want our fans to be involved. We want you guys to go and vote at AgTruckTraderProRodeo.com/charity. Vote for my charity. No, I'm just kidding. But you can vote for Taylor's too if you want. But yeah, so all of our team has picked these charities, and they're so amazing. And we all joke about the competition, but at the end of the day, we want to spread awareness and we want to grow each and every one of these charities. So, Tina, I want to ask you a little bit. What is Golden Circle of Champions charity?
The question, we get asked that a lot. Golden Circle of Champions was a blessing to us. A few years back, it was put on my heart. I became exposed to children battling cancer. I raised 3 beautiful children, never had been exposed to that. During the course of a short period of time, was exposed to multiple families. I learned a lot during that exposure. And to be honest with you, God just put it on my heart, because there is nobody more of a champion than a kid fighting cancer. Being a rodeo committee, putting together that thought process, and the Cowboys and the champions that they are, I knew that if we could bring together the Cowboys and these kids, that they would rally around them and show them a love and a support that they've never seen. Our Western industry is is the hands down best at giving back. There is no industry that does more for community and family. And God put it on my heart to reach out and start doing something for these kids and letting them know that they're not alone. They're not going to fight this fight alone. And oftentimes they do. And some of the families, had a wheel of support around them. But, Jordan, we discovered through this journey that a lot of families don't, and they really just need that support. And so that first year was, we're going to bring kids in. We're going to let them dine with Cowboys. We're going to treat them as though they're champions, because they really are the champion. At the end of the day, we gave them hats, we gave them buckles. And for one day, they got to be a part of something special. And that was our rodeo. And they got the opportunity to have dinner with the likes of Cotton Rosser and Reno and just, be a part of that Cowboy spirit. And I knew that very first year that, this was going to be special. And since then, it is a journey we've been on. It has grown, and, our thought process is, we do what we do in our rodeo, where we raise monies and we give it back to those families in our community. But this charity, the Golden Circle of Champions, has gone on to spread across the country, and we're leaving that footprint in countless ways. And the one thing, when we started it and we started bringing these kids in and exposing them to the Western way of life and letting them interact with horses, letting them interact with these cowboys, letting them be a part of that whole process, we started seeing an incredible change. We started seeing children that were terminal, that all of a sudden had this will and this strength to fight and to not give up. We saw families embracing, getting to ride horses and just getting to be a part of that lifestyle. And then the one thing that I never expected and I never anticipated was the relationships that would be built between the Cowboys and the kids. And I have to tell you that journey has been probably the most emotional part of our program, because we see the impact these Cowboys have had on their lives. These kids get the opportunity to be with these guys. They spend time with them. They go home. These Cowboys continue to communicate with them, and cowgirls be a part of their lives, send them messages of hope. And it has just truly made these kids feel like they are the champions. And they truly are the champions. And I think the one thing that people need to think about is that, and I always challenge folks, I say, do you know what month is Pediatric Cancer Awareness? Either of you know?
It's November, right?
No.
Or December?
September.
November.
September. But I always challenge people, because that was something that I didn't know. Like, I hadn't been exposed to that. I didn't realize the stats, and I won't go into a whole bunch of stats today, because I know today is all about just talking about what we do as a charity. But very, very excited to tell you that as we've grown, my goal was, and my wish was, if I could get one other rodeo to do something for the kids in their community, we were successful, right? I mean, and I'm proud to sit here today and tell you that we have dozens of rodeos now across the country that are going gold in honor of their champions in their community. Yeah, it's a journey. I tell everybody every day it's a journey, and I just feel incredibly blessed to be a part of this journey and to be making a difference in their lives. But the biggest gift that, like I said, we've gotten out of this is seeing what these Cowboys and cowgirls in this industry has been able to do for these families.
Now, Tina, you told me you weren't going to cry, and now you're going to make me cry. So this is not cool.
Wait. Yeah,
it is
tough.
An emotional thing, because you sit here, and cancer sucks all the way around, right? I've lost my grandmother to cancer. My aunt's battling it. It stinks, but then you put it inside these children, and they're the light of our lives, and it's just tough. And to know that there's hope in this journey is amazing, and encouraged to fight. And these tough, rough, hard cowboys and cowgirls get to come in there, and you wouldn't think that there would be compassion because of what we do in the arena, but you take them outside of the arena and they are like a teddy bear, just like Mr. Santos here. And so, Tina, I have some questions for you, but Taylor, I want to bring you in right now. What did it mean to you to get invited to be a part of the Golden Circle of Champions?
Oh, it's such a blessing. Growing up as a kid on the Central Coast of California, I got to go to the rodeos at Santa Maria, Salinas with my mom, and after the first year of going to those rodeos, I look forward to it year round because I got to go and hang out with the Cowboys and go eat dinner in the hospitality room and be around the likes of Johnny Jones and Luke Branquino. And, we get to ride their horses and hang out with them. And so I've been that kid on the Central Coast of California growing up. And then to go full circle and get to be a part of such a great program and get to go to Las Vegas and be a part of the Golden Circle of Champions. I still message Tristan, the kid that I was paired up with in 2019, and we still message back and forth occasionally. And the kid that I was with, Ty, in 2021, he actually is from right up there by Red Bluff, and so he came and watched me at the circuit finals, and he had a sign with my name on it. And so, I mean, you get to continue on with a relationship, and it's very meaningful, I'm sure, for them, but it just as much for us. I mean, it really puts things into perspective whenever you're at the NFR or Santa Maria or the circuit finals in Red Bluff and you draw a bad calf or something, and then you get to go hang out with these kids that are battling pediatric cancer. The bad draw is no big deal. That's right. We're so blessed to be able to live this lifestyle and be a part of the Western way life. It really does put things into perspective for us.
And I love that too, because it is a perspective of you fight for a different reason, and you compete for a different reason, and then you have somebody to compete for. You are somebody that they are looking up to. You're giving them hope. You're giving them courage. Whether you show up, whether you do good or not, they're cheering for you because you are cheering for them. And I love that. Tina, I want to go back and talk a little bit more about everything you guys do event-wise. So walk me through it. Okay, what is Golden Circle of Champions at the NFR? And then talk a little bit after that. I want to talk about the events and the rodeos that are a part of you guys now.
So the Golden Circle of Champions is a 501c3 nonprofit that obviously was started to be able to, again, bring these children and these families into our industry. Our original goal, like I said, was to show these kids that they are the champions. So we were kind of the stepping stone here in Santa Maria, creating the template. And where we brought, the Cowboys would come in, dine with the kids. We give the kids hats. We give them buckles that say champion, right? They're Golden Circle Champion, real buckles, not pewter ones. That's awesome. The first year we did it, they tried to send me pewter buckles. And I called back and said, okay, you realize these kids are fighting for their life. Like, this kid's 5 and he's going to get a real champion buckle like Taylor would get, right? We want them to feel that. So we found that, again, going back to it, our Team Golden is incredible. They rallied around us. They rallied around these families. We bring them in. We treat them to dinner. They get to watch the rodeo. They get to learn about rodeo. We have folks there talking to them about what the different events are. It's super important that they also learn about rodeo, because a lot of these families typically haven't been to rodeo. So that's kind of what we do there. We'll pass the boots in the stands. We raise money. Some of those monies go back directly to those families. Other funds go into supporting programs like the NFR and the different areas that we go. So as far as the events go, that's kind of what we do at our local Santa Maria Oaks Rodeo. Again, bring those kids in, treat them like champions, give them their hats, their buckles. They get to watch the rodeo. And then what we do each year, we have anywhere from 20 to 25 kids, unfortunately. My goal is someday to have no kids, right? That would be our dream, to not have any kids available to come. But we bring them in, but we also invite all the past champions that have come to our rodeo. So now you've got families that may be newly diagnosed. They may be years into their journey, but they're now getting to sit and watch our rodeo with other families that have been on this same journey that they've been on. So we've been able to rally around and create kind of their own little bubble of connections, right? And they get to know each other. The kids get to bond. They get to talk about things. We don't stop and think about, when a 10 or 11-year-old child gets cancer, they become different than the rest of their friends. And I remember one of our situations, the young girl, when she got introduced to the next year's, champion, her comment was she didn't feel weird anymore. She didn't feel different because she had somebody that was just like her. I don't think we take the time to really stop and think and understand what exactly is happening in these families. We don't realize that. So the Cowboys stepped up. My dream was, gosh, if I could get these kids, for the Cowboys to get to come spend time with them. And the hard part is we know the Cowboys and Cowgirls they're on the run. They've got places to be and things to do. So not knowing how they would accept this, we went into this not knowing that. I can tell you that the stories are countless on the Taylors of what they've done with these kids in the aftermath as far as developing those relationships. So we set out, we do what we do in Santa Maria. At that point, we had the big event. We had matched all the Cowboys and the kids up. And then I realized, wow, what if we could do this at NFR? What if we could take it to the top and be able to show the country and other rodeos across the nation, look, this is something you can do too. You can take care of your own kids in your community. And we were so blessed. At that time, Pat Christensen was at the helm of the Las Vegas events, and Tim Keener and his crew, Alex and Michael and Bo. And, I went to them and said, what if? How can we bring kids to the NFR? And it wasn't a matter of can we, it was a matter of what do you need from us? And they jumped in both feet. And, we started those first couple of years. We do some little clinic events for the kids to learn the different events at roping prior to. And that's also a bonding time for the kids to get to know their Cowboys and their Cowgirls and spend that time together. And then of course they get to have lunch with them. And then that night at NFR, they will hold up the signs that says my champion is whoever that Cowboy is that they're connected with. So when you're watching the NFR or you're at the NFR, you're going to see one of those kids holding up a sign that says who their champion is. But then at the same time, the gold rags, gold is the pediatric cancer color. And again, so blessed to have the support of Tim and his crew at Las Vegas events to be able to hand out gold rags that night so that people could understand. Kind of funny. I when I first started this, I'm like, why gold? That is a really hard color when it comes to kids to make it fun. And then I realized that gold was selected because gold is the most precious metal. And there's nothing more precious than our children. So now we're all gold. Everybody goes gold. We're team golden. You probably didn't know that. Those are the little things that I've learned along this journey. I've had the heartbreaking calls too to some of those Cowboys to let them know that we've lost their buddies, and those have been very difficult phone calls to make. But, when you call a Cowboy and you say, I'm really sorry to make this call, but I wanted to let you know that, we lost so-and-so. And they say, Tina, we already knew. We've been best friends with this family since the day we met them. I realized this was bigger than any of us. It was more than I could have ever hoped for it to be, because it's made a difference in these families' lives. And so we've encouraged rodeos across the country. PRCA has helped us out, getting the word out to other rodeo committees that they too can become a golden rodeo. And it varies from rodeo to rodeo what they do with their champions.
I love that. And, you are going to make me cry. Yeah. Thank you.
It's tough. It's tough. I'm trying to not tell those stories.
Yeah, but that's what we need to hear. Sorry. Those are the stories that need to be told. So, Taylor, I want to ask you a little bit. talk about your experience with the Golden Circle of Champions when you made the NFR. You were paired up. One of your pairees, I will say, was Ty. Talk about that experience. I'm glad you pointed out, Tina, the yellow rags. We see those on the Cowboy channel. We all love the Cowboy channel now. But I always wondered what they were wearing them for and why they were wearing them in the perf that night. So that is great clarification. So Taylor, talk about your experience when you were paired up with Ty as a Golden Circle of Champions, and just walk me through what that meant to you.
Yes, ma'am. That was in 2021, and so I already had a pretty good idea what the Golden Circle of Champions was about because I'd been there in 19. But that one really hit home whenever I was paired up with Ty because his brother was actually there with him hanging out, and his brother's name was Lane, and that's my brother's name. And so we hit it off pretty good, and we roped the dummy and got to have lunch, and they got their hats and their buckles, and that one was just cool. It was it's so cool to put the rag on that night, the golden rag, and then to go full circle. I had no clue, but my brother had actually sent them some play ropes. He had got their address and sent them some cactus play ropes. And so whenever we ran into them at the circuit finals in Red Bluff, Lane and Ty were both there, and they had the sign still. And, they got to watch us rope, and then we went and hung out in the stands and watched some of the rodeo together after that. So it really is cool that especially being from California, that being my home state, it's cool to get to hang out with local kids. It means a little bit extra.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that you're making such an impact on them, I want to let you know that, if you could, I know you still talk to Ty some, but what would you tell Ty? Like, what kind of impact did he make on your career? You were talking a little bit about your perspective. What kind of impact has he made on your career as a cowboy in and out of the arena?
Absolutely. I mean, Ty and Tristan both, it's hard to realize it whenever you're at the Super Bowl of rodeo at the NFR, and if things aren't going good, in the moment, it's so easy to get upset that you're on the wrong end of the draw, and you just feel like things aren't going right. But whenever things kind of slow down, and you get out of Las Vegas, and you get to thinking about it, it really does. You think about why we rodeo, and it's simpler than you think it is at the beginning, and you got to kind of figure out why you're rodeoing, like what your purpose. Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for somebody else? And it really makes you take it into perspective and think about those kind of things.
Well, and I think that's something, I know Leighton talks about that a lot, is your why. Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you do what you do? What is your purpose? And I love that the Golden Circle of Champions is part of your purpose now too. And we have a special edition on this podcast. We are actually going to bring in a special surprise guest for you to talk to, Taylor. I'm going to go ahead and add them to the stage now, and we will talk to our surprise guest. We have Ty and his mom, Megan, his dad, Thomas, and his brother, Lane, all waiting to talk to you. Can you guys hear us?
How's it going?
Hey.
Say hi. Hi.
Hey, Ty, how's your day going, bud?
Good.
Good. We're glad to have you on this podcast. Thanks for joining us. Have you been listening the whole time?
Yeah.
What did you think about all that?
It was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Well, can you tell me a little bit about your story, Ty?
Oh, so you're 11 years old.
How old are you, Ty?
I'm 11 years old.
You're 11 years old? And when were you diagnosed with cancer?
When I was 2.
2 years old. And what kind of cancer did you have?
Brain cancer. Brain cancer.
Brain cancer? But that wasn't going to get you down because you're smart and God's got you in this. So what was it like? You battled through brain cancer, and then you got to be a part of the Golden Circle of Champions. You met Mr. Taylor Santos. He is your champion cowboy. Tell me about it.
It was nice going to the Golden Circle Champions.
What'd you get there?
A belt.
Do you still wear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it
Oh,
on
you've
right?
got it on right now. I love that. Did you make some friends at the Golden Circle of Champions that were your other buddies there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to tell Taylor today?
Thank you for being my buddy.
Well, Ty, we're very, very excited to have you on, and you and your family. We welcome you to In the Loop podcast. This is a big deal for us, and we are very, very excited to help promote this for you guys. What did it feel like when you got to walk in at the NFR and hold up your sign for Taylor that he was your champion?
It felt nice.
Felt nice? Did it give you some hope?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And so are you cancer-free now, Ty?
Yes.
That's awesome. Did you go cheer for Taylor this year at some rodeos?
Yeah, last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
That's good. Did his brother Lane send you some ropes?
Mm-hmm.
What do you use those for?
Catching our goats.
You rope goats?
They rope their goats.
Yeah.
Goats are hard to catch. Taylor, I mean, I'm sure you rope goats too. Like, goats are really hard to catch.
They are hard to catch. Yeah,
Mhm.
whenever we were little, we had a little goat roping arena. So Lane and I grew up. My brother Lane and I grew up roping goats too. So that's pretty cool.
Do you catch a lot of goats with that rope, Ty? What
Yeah.
about you, Lane? Do you rope goats with Ty?
Yeah, I like roping goats with Ty.
What was it like watching your brother go to the Golden Circle of Champions event?
It was super cool to see all the Cowboys, and especially Ty with Taylor there.
Yeah? How come it was so cool?
Because I just like to see us bonding with another Cowboy there.
So what do you guys want to be when you grow up?
I would like to be an engineer, and I would like to be a police officer.
Awesome. You guys are going to keep us safe and keep our roadways steady.
Yep.
How old are you? So you're 11. Ty, how old are you, Lane?
I'm 10.
You're 10? Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys for coming on here today. We're very excited to have you. Ty, if you could say anything to Taylor about being your champion cowboy, what would you tell Taylor?
Thank you.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
if that doesn't make you cry, nothing will. So Tina, we've gotten to visit with Ty, and obviously we all know why everybody's crying here is because this is such an impactful organization, Golden Circle of Champions. What is next for you guys? How do people get involved? Obviously it's changing lives and it's going to continue to change lives. How do people get involved with Golden Circle of Champions?
All they need to do is reach out to us on our website. That's the easiest way. We have phone numbers. We have emails. Megan, hats off to you and your team. Ty, so great to see you, kiddo. We're so proud of you. And it is tough. It is tough to have the conversations. And Taylor, I know this means a lot to you as well. But to be able to have these relationships and again, no matter what your organization is, reach out to us. Like I said, the easiest way is to reach out via email at goldencirclechampions.com. One of our Team Golden members will reach out to you. And we'll figure out what we can do. And it's just growing leaps and bounds. Like Megan said, as a family, we have lots of former families that are participating. And Megan, you pegged on something, the families that weren't, that are in a different position than you guys. We've lost some of our champions along the way, and that's been very difficult. difficult. But when you talk about the color gold, Megan, I never knew about the color gold until we started this. And our goal is to there's over 600 PRCA rodeos. And in my heart, there is no reason that every single one of those rodeos can't have one gold night and do something for their kids. That's my personal goal. I know I'm setting the bar high, but Taylor, you can help me with this, spreading the word to rodeos you go to, that they can become a golden rodeo. It's that simple. It's that simple. I think, Megan pegged on something as well, that when I started this, I was told, don't do it. It's too sad. And obviously they didn't know me very well, because don't tell me not to do something. Because now I realize that those people were the reason that I didn't know about gold. I didn't know about the color gold. I didn't know what it stood for. I didn't even know that much about pediatric cancer. And trust me, I know a lot more now, sorry, the tears, than I ever wanted to know. But I also know that God's put it on my heart that I won't stop talking about it and until there's a difference made for these families. And again, we could go into stats all day long, but at the end of the day, the stats don't matter. What matters is that family sitting right there. And it matters that they know that our Western industry has their back, that we have their back, and they're not going to go through this alone anymore, because we have people like Taylor and his family and your show and all that you guys are doing. I just want those families to know that we're there, and we are going to circle around you, and we are going to make sure that you know that you're loved, and we are going to have the conversation about pediatric cancer, even though we don't want to, even though we know we're going to cry, even though we know that we're going to lose some of our champions. By God, we're going to have that conversation. And it's about time we have it, because it frustrates me that we aren't having that conversation. I feel incredibly blessed that people like Taylor stepped up in his family and these Cowboys and have made that difference for these young kids, because you heard the story. You heard what Megan's going through, and there's countless. I see Ty's emotion. I mean, if you can't see that on that little guy's face right now, what this meant to him, again, there's no reason for us to not make a difference. Shame on us if we don't. So that's my goal. My goal is to have gold everywhere, Megan. Just so you know, we're going to have gold everywhere. I'm going to make scarves all day long if I have to, but we will make sure that people are more educated about what these families have to go through. And that's our goal.
I love that. I just funny thing. I just got some shirts embroidered. And so now I'm like, I need to have one of them embroidered gold, because then I need it. And, yes. I do. I want to help fight the fight however I can. And just spreading that awareness. And it is, I love how you said, we have to have these conversations. They're tough conversations. They're hard. But at the end of the day, we're going to fight together. We're going to circle around these champions. And that's what it's all about, because you're not going through this alone, no matter what, and I love that. Taylor, I want you to, do you have any final thoughts I know you and your mom, Kendra Santos, were a huge part in this. If anybody hasn't, if you're listening to this, if you really want to see the emotion, go watch us on YouTube. Bring your box of Kleenex with you if you do that. But what has it meant to you, and what will it continue to mean to you? I mean, one simple act of kindness, one small piece of your time has made such a difference in Ty's life and Tristan's and Will and so many others.
Yeah, I'm ready for Tina to get the golden Kleenex for me out. But this is an awesome surprise to have Ty on here, and I'm so proud of him for kicking cancer's butt, just staying strong, and just the bond that him and his brother have. It reminds me so much of me and my brother's bond. And that they get to go out there and rope goats together, and that he just persevered through it and got through it. So that's so awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
Well, and Ty and Lane, I want you guys to know, both of you, because you both went through this fight. I know, Ty, you had the cancer. Lane, I know he's your big brother. You guys are an inspiration to us. You guys are our champions. So I look up to you both, and I'm only like 20 some years older than you, but you guys are my champions. So congratulations. I'm very, very proud of both of you young boys. And I know that there's going to be big, amazing things you're going to do in this world. God has placed a huge calling on your life. And you guys don't ever give up. Don't ever quit fighting. You go after it, and you go after it with all you got.
This will be a great time for people to get on AgTruckTrader.com and vote for the Golden Circle of Champions.
Yeah, it would. It would. You guys, you can go to AgTruckTraderProRodeo.com/charity and vote for the Golden Circle of Champions. So this episode comes out the 20th, and voting is open until March 1st. So if you guys have not gone and voted, please, please, please go vote. And and also if you're voting, great, we appreciate that. But go and be a part of these charities. Go and give back. Obviously, we want to give back, but every one of these charities I've learned about, now I'm tied on who I'm going to vote for. Like, I'm going to have to get like everybody in my family to vote for one different charity. But it's about giving back and being a part of it. And like I said, giving a small piece of your time, monetary investment, whatever that looks like. You guys, we can do more. This is bigger than us. This is more than what we do. This is about creating a legacy and giving people hope and courage and faith to fight every day moving forward. It's just bigger than us. So I don't know. It's been really good. I appreciate all of you guys for being on here.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate you and helping to bring that awareness. And Megan, thank you for all that you and your family have been through. And Ty, just know that we're there and we support you. And Taylor, there are no words for you Cowboys, because without you, there is no Golden Circle Champions program. So thank you to you and all of your buddies out there that make it happen. You are the true hearts of gold of the program. So thank you for that. Thank you for giving of your time when you could be in a million other places and you choose to be with these families. I hope you know how much it means to them. And I'm not supposed to cry. But when it comes to talking about these Cowboys and what they've done with this program, it's tough not to cry, because without them, we're nothing. So
I agree.
Thank you for that, Taylor.
Tina, Taylor, hi, Lane, Megan, Thomas. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Everybody, again, go vote on AgTruckTraderProRodeo.com/charity. Pick the charity of your choice. Get involved. Create time. Give people hope. Thank you guys so much for joining us on In the Loop, and we will catch you down the road.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.